All right, so
Awesome.
all right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the ACA Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective for this Wednesday morning, July 29th. We're excited to be here. We've got a great session today. We couldn't provide these sessions without our community partners. Their efforts and resources and expertise is invaluable to this program, and we're excited that they can participate. So Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective is designed to help small businesses of 20 or less employees, even though all businesses are welcome, to emerge from the COVID crisis stronger than ever. It is a statewide initiative supported by our community partners, and it is a daily boot camp through the end of this month. And we have some other plans to continue in August as well, though not daily. So we've been doing these daily, the Small Business Bootcamp daily, from the beginning of May. And we have all those sessions recorded and archived, so you can go back and view them at any time. You can find the previous sessions and the registration links for the upcoming sessions at our Small Business Bootcamp website. The link is right there on the screen. And as part of that, you can access the Resource Collective. And this is another website that we put together with all the resources and guides that our community partners have put together to help support small businesses during the COVID crisis. It's a great tool to favorite or bookmark on your browser so you can access it easy. So this week's sessions, we had a great session on practical strategies to lead your company through COVID-19. On Monday, we had how the community can best support small businesses yesterday. Today, we've got removing friction from your business. Tomorrow, we have an update on the Paycheck Protection Program. And then Friday, we have using finance to grow your business. So some quick updates. There's still a lot of money remaining in the PPP program, though there's not a lot of time. The program ends on August 8th. However, you'll see the note on the screen, the SBA forgiveness system that they've put together for the lenders to be able to start processing forgiveness applications, that opens up on August 10th. That's a projected date at this time. So as you can see, Arizona has received a lot of PPP and EIDL loans with about $11 billion in funding coming to Arizona to support small businesses. Another way small businesses can work through this time is leverage our ACA programs, our small business services. We can help work through the SBA, work with the SBDCs, local banks, share the latest developments, connect you with many of the community partners if they have something that may be of a resource to you. Our workforce division can help work with your employees, finding employees, training employees, working to crosswalk employees, or go through some of the training programs with Arizona at Work. And then our Arizona MEP is Manufacturing Extension Partnership. They are a resource for all the manufacturers throughout Arizona to help them as they're looking to grow and expand their operations. We just want to do a quick reminder of the ArizonaTogether.org website for all things COVID-19 for the state. And this is just a quick list of some of the guides and resources you can find on our Resource Collective and throughout our archived sessions to help small businesses work through the COVID-19 crisis and return stronger. Additionally, to stay informed of the business ongoings through this crisis, we have our azcommerce.com COVID-19 page. This is the homepage for many of the resources that we have set up for COVID. So today's speaker, we have Rebecca Clyde, co-founder and CEO of Botco.ai. So we are excited to have her here, and we're going to turn the time over to her and let her start her presentation. So Rebecca, it's all yours.
All right, thanks, Robert. I appreciate that kind introduction. I'm going to take a moment also just to give a quick shout out to some of the people that are on the line today. Hello, Cheryl and David and Deb. It's good to have you here today. There's some fun names here I recognize. Rachel, one of my fellow co-founders in the Valley. Good to see you. Randy, an awesome person that works at the ACA. Also great to see you today. Jason, Jay, Kedrick. I think I got everybody. Tom Blondie, thanks for being here today. So a bunch of names here that I recognize. Thanks for joining me today. I hope everyone's having a great morning. So let me just see if I can share my slides here really quick. I'll just need a second. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yep.
It looks good? Okay. All right. Well, my name is Rebecca Clyde, as was introduced, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Botco.ai. And we are a local Arizona startup. Our focus is on delivering intelligent chat solutions that help our customers double their conversion rates. And when I talk about doubling conversion rates, I'm really talking about, growing the number of people that either come to your website and become a customer or take that action that is important to your bottom line, whatever that might be for your business. All right, so just to get started today, I want to give you 10 of my favorite hacks that will remove friction from your business. And the reason why I put this together was because I was sharing at an ACA update a few weeks ago with Mark, some things that we had done at Botco.ai, and he said, wow, you guys should be sharing that with all small business owners because I think people could really benefit. So these are just things that I have found to work for my business, and I'm here to share them with you. And if I can be of any help in providing additional detail to help you put these in place, just message me afterward and we can talk further. One of the things I wanted to give a quick shout out to the Arizona Commerce Authority. You guys are doing an amazing job in helping small businesses weather the storm of this whole new COVID thing that's been going on. So thank you. I am personally super grateful as well to the ACA for honoring us as an Arizona Innovation Challenge awardee. We received this award at the end of 2019 and have really been able to benefit from many of the wonderful resources that the ACA has provided for small businesses and startups like ourselves. So thank you, ACA, for that awesome opportunity. Okay, so let's get started. What exactly is friction? When I say I'm going to help you remove friction from your business, what do I mean by that? I'm really referring to the resistance that we create within our own business processes and organizations that actually slow us down. Right, so unbeknownst to us, we're constantly putting like little barriers and blocks in the road between ourselves and our customers, and we make it hard for our customers to do business with us. And unfortunately, during times like this, we don't have that luxury anymore to be getting away with that. Maybe before money, we were all a little bit more flush, money was flowing much faster, and so we could put some of these roadblocks in place and not really notice. But in times like this, it's super important to remove as many of those elements of friction from our business, streamline, how customers can get in touch with us. Every single customer contact point should be as easy and simple as possible. And so I'm going to talk to you about things that we're doing within our business to accomplish that. So the first thing that I always like to tell people is to remember that we are living in a different time. We are kind of in the on-demand everything world right now. It's on-demand movies, on-demand food, on-demand transportation, on-demand services. Everything is on demand. And our customers have been spoiled over the last few years, where they have come to expect that instant is everything, right? Prime wasn't good enough, it became Prime now, right? It's gonna be, Prime the moment I think of it, it should appear in my hand, right? So that's the world that we're living in. And fortunately for companies like Netflix and Amazon, they have billions of dollars to deliver on this instant everything now expectation. But what about us? What about the small businesses? Those of us who don't have the billions of dollars that Amazon and Netflix has. How are we going to deliver on this expectation? Because all of those customers are walking around expecting that same experience from us, and yet we don't have the same resources. So today, let's talk about some things that you can do in your business to turn it into what I call an Amazon-like experience. And there's some really simple things that won't cost a lot. All of these things are accessible to a small business budget, with a company of less than 20 people, because I've even been able to do a lot of these things. So you won't have to have billions of dollars to apply these. Now, why is this important? It's not just because we were all in one way or another competing against Amazon or Netflix, but because by not responding instantly to our customers, we are actually losing opportunities. We're losing about 30 to 50% of business opportunities when we fail to respond instantly. And this actually came out from a Salesforce.com study that was given last week. So if this doesn't motivate you enough, then I don't know what will, right? But I know for me, I don't want to lose these 30 to 50% of opportunities. I want to capture every potential customer as much as possible. So let's take care of this. And as I mentioned, we're living in an unprecedented time. This is our new reality. It's a world of social distancing where we can't have those physical interactions that we had before. And so the digital world is becoming even more important. So it's almost like not only were we already an on-demand culture, but now it's been heightened even more because we've removed, in a sense, the physical world from one of our options. And so now we have to be really, really good at delivering on that digital experience in a way that we never were before. All right, so the number one thing I'm going to suggest to you, and I'm actually going to go through 10 topics today, so I'll go through them one by one so you know exactly where we are on the agenda. The first thing, and I know this sounds really obvious, but we have to make it super easy to find your business and your website. And this might sound obvious, but you would be amazed at how many websites I have looked up and I cannot figure out, are they open or are they not? What days are they open now? Whether it's my favorite restaurant or favorite coffee shop. It is so hard to figure this out right now, and we should not make it hard for our customers to figure out what is the status of our business, are we open or not, how do they get in touch with us, and what services are we offering right now. Super simple. So here are some 4 really easy things that you can do today to make sure that this is happening. So first of all, make sure that your website is optimized for search, right? If you haven't done this already, go in, check all your meta tags, make sure that they're all in there, put all of your new operating hours or updated services information in those meta tag descriptions. Super important. Number 2, run some Google ad experiments and tune your keywords. Figure out who else is showing up because things may have changed, right? A lot of people are searching for topics like, what is the nearest coffee shop that does takeout near me? Or where can I pick up, where can I buy, denim near me, right? Very specific things. And so figure out who else is turning up in those searches and run a few Google ad experiments. I mean, you can spend a couple $100 just trying out like some different Google AdWords and just seeing what is working. Because trust me, whatever you were doing before has probably completely changed. So if you haven't done this already, run a little experiment now. Another very simple thing you can do, update your LinkedIn profile, update your Facebook pages with all of this new information. Again, I'm finding that many companies have not done this, and businesses that I love and interact with have not been doing this, and so that's why I'm kind of stating the obvious. And then the 4th thing, I love a product. There's a product out there called Yext, and it's a location listing service. So if your company or your business is location driven, use a directory like this to keep all of your location hours up to date, and then they will automatically update all of your Google listings as well. So that's a really nice tool to use if you prefer to use something else that's more centralized. Plus, it can also update all of the location information on your website, on your Facebook pages. It's kind of a nice way to keep everything organized in one place. Okay, so first and foremost, some basic housekeeping that everybody should be doing to help your customers find your company without getting lost and ending up somewhere else by mistake. Okay, so then the second thing, before I get into that, I want to give you a little pro hack. This is a secret. You only get to hear about this today because you actually came to this webinar. But there's this awesome product. It's super affordable. It's called Page Optimizer Pro. For about $100 a year, you can use this product. So it's less than, $8 a month. A couple of cups of coffee is it. And you can give each of your SEO pages a super unfair advantage. I love this product. We've been starting to use it on specific pages for our website to drive up our search optimization, and it has really, really been phenomenal. So I'm going to give a plug for this product. It's kind of a secret out in the industry. Not a lot of people talk about it because they don't want other people to know their secret, but you get it today. They also have a free trial, so go ahead and use it, see if it works for you. All right, so the second thing, okay, now that you've made it easy for people to find your website or your business, make your website and your digital channels work smarter. And what I mean by this is that most of us were really spoiled because we built our websites during a time when the economy was just like super, super flush, right? And so we got lazy and we implemented really, kind of clunky websites where we made our customers do all of the hard work, right? So you had content on your website, but it was all buried. It was hard to find. Your customers had to click through 5 different places to get to it. And you know what? We could get away with that back in the day when money was flowing. But today, I don't think so, right? So let's take a really strong look at your website. See if the stuff that your customers need is difficult to find. Reduce the number of clicks. Reduce the number of pointing and navigating that they have to do to get to the essential information. Forrester, which is one of the big digital research firms, they did a recent study and found that 40% of the time that your customers are spending on your website is actually completely wasted. They never find what they're looking for. And so, if you're anything like me, like we always get excited when our Google Analytics metrics show that, oh, time on page has increased. Isn't that awesome? Well, it's not awesome if your customers are spending more time on your page just because they can't find what they're looking for. That's not awesome. And so talk to your customers, get some really good feedback. What could you do to really reduce that wasted time, right? Help your customers get to what they're looking for faster. Now, this is actually a big reason why I'm in business, Botco.ai, because what we have done is actually created a whole framework for helping our customers turn all of their content into questions and answers so that you could be more of like an Alexa-ready business. So I've been watching my kids. I have 3 kids at home, a 17-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. They do not go to websites. I'll tell you what they do. They say, Alexa, tell me blah, 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 right? That's how they interact with content. And when I tell them, hey, why don't you go to a website and look up a recipe, they just look at me like I have 3 heads, and they just turn to pick up their phone and say, Alexa, give me the recipe for blah, 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 right? So that is how people today want to interact. They don't want to go to your website, dig around, try to find things. They just want to ask for what they're looking for and get it. So redesign all your content. Think about how you can redesign your content so that it's accessible in a question and answer format. And then you can use products like Botco.ai is one of them. There's many others out there that have varying degrees of functionality so that you can actually answer your customers' questions instantly using chat right on your website or even on messaging channels. Products like ours integrate into Facebook, and you can create these same experiences in conversational interfaces right on Facebook using their messenger platform, and you can personalize them. And it's not that hard. So let me give you an example of some companies right here in the Valley that are doing this. So Vibrant Healthcare, they are a stem cell kind of clinic, and they're selling a product that's very expensive, very specialized. They have created like a chat option on their website so you can ask all your questions that you might have about stem cell therapy without having to point and click through the site. So the site is still there, it's available, but what they're finding is that most of their customers would rather just ask the questions and get the immediate answers. Something super simple that you can do. Our product, we have a free version that you can use as well, so you wouldn't even have to spend any money to get something like this off the ground. I also mentioned that you can personalize that. So if you want to go to the next level and start to personalize that chat and that conversational experience, when you're using Facebook, this is a really great place that you can do that because Facebook already has data like the person's name. They might know other aspects about that person's experience that you can incorporate into the conversation. So here is another Arizona company that I love, Massage Envy, and they are using chat to personalize these conversations. And so when you go to Facebook and you want to chat with Massage Envy, immediately, a greeting pops up that says, hello, Rebecca. Welcome. I'm your virtual assistant. Let me help you find whatever it is that you're looking for. So now I don't have to go to the Massage Envy website and point and click and figure out how I'm going to get an appointment and download their app and all that nonsense, right? I can just ask them. And so here, something that's top of mind for me is, which locations are open. I can ask that question directly and get an immediate answer. Or if I'm interested in becoming a member, I can ask something like, hey, how do I join and become a member? I get an instant answer, and then they can give me some additional content to learn about membership. So it's a whole new way of thinking about how your customers want to interact with your content that is a lot more frictionless, right? It's just like, Don't make me search. Don't make me look for stuff. Just let me ask my question and let me get an immediate response. You know, that's what we're really here to help businesses do. And what we have found is that when your customers have the ability to ask a question and get an immediate answer, they're twice as likely to convert, right? That means they're going to turn into a paying customer in twice the rate, which I don't know if you're anyone else out there, but I would love to see a curve like this on my business all the time. So think about, where are you creating friction? One thing that I have found is that a lot of people, if you're studying your customers, they'll go to your website, they'll look at something, and then guess what? They have to pick up the phone to call and find out A, B, or C. And that is a huge amount of friction, because now you're making them go to a different channel, which is the phone, wait on hold, call, wait for somebody to get back to them. And now you've created this huge boulder that's getting between you and revenue. So let's completely eliminate that piece of friction, help your customer get those answers instantly, and then you will be on your way to selling more. All right, enough about that. I could keep going. The other thing that we have started doing at Botco.ai is using cloud-based calendars to book any kind of sales appointments. Now, I'm not exactly sure what each of your business models might be. Some of you might be selling to businesses or a high-priced product where you really want to meet with the customer in order to make a sale. Some of you might be able to run your entire selling process just through e-commerce. But for those of us who require some form of appointment or sales demo of sorts, make the calendaring and the scheduling process as easy as possible. This whole back and forth, are you available on Tuesday at 3? No, that doesn't work for me. No, how about Wednesday at 5? No, that doesn't work for me. I mean, you can lose a customer just with the back and forth. So let's not do that. Use a cloud-based calendar to book your appointment. What we have done right on our website, this is my homepage, Botco.ai homepage, is we have book a demo links in the headers and in the main graphic. And these appointments, these buttons link through directly to our virtual cloud-based calendar service, which is called Calendly. And that calendar service has all of the openings that we have on our sales person's schedule to schedule. And they just, with one click, can pick the time that works for them, and now it's booked on both sides. It makes it super easy to get sales appointments. Once you implement something like this, you will find that you are able to, double or even triple the velocity of your sales appointments, which we all know that if you have more velocity in sales appointments, you're meeting more customers, you're going to close more business. So don't be afraid to put your calendaring service right on your homepage. We have noticed that it drives a tremendous amount of opportunity for us and sales appointments. All right. Now, the next thing is, don't just have them schedule the calendar appointment, but save yourself the trouble of having to send out the Zoom meeting after. So let me explain how that works, right? In the olden days, we could schedule an appointment, the person would come in to meet with us in person, and you'd have to send them your address. And of course, nobody's coming in to meet with you in person. We're doing everything over Zoom. The nice thing about cloud services like Calendly is that they integrate with Zoom. So you can pay $9 a month for Calendly to automate this capability for you. And I think Zoom is also like $10 a month. So you're talking about $20 a month total for this double capability of being able to schedule an appointment instantly and have it auto-generate a Zoom meeting on both sides, right? So you've already eliminated a huge amount of friction in terms of getting appointments scheduled. And the nice thing about services like Calendly is they also send appointment reminders. So that way, if you booked a sales appointment, the person is going to get a reminder so that nobody misses the meeting. They have the Zoom number, they've got it on their calendar, everybody's going to show up. You're going to have a much lower no-show rate as a result of automating all of these capabilities. So right within Calendly, just to show you, we give our customers 3 options. Do they want a 15-minute meeting, a 30-minute meeting, or a 60-minute meeting, depending on how much time they have. And when they schedule that meeting, the calendar appointment and the Zoom is auto-generated. And we are able to increase our appointment keeping rate. All right, so the next thing we do is we're, like I said, we're making it really easy to find us. We're making it really easy to answer our customers' questions. We're making it really easy to schedule appointments with us and to actually show up to your appointments. Okay, so what does your sales process look like? This is another place where we can reduce friction. Now, again, we used to have the luxury of kind of being able to have this sales process be drawn out because sales were awesome and strong and the world was, you know, kind of rocking and rolling on champagne. Well, that's not happening anymore. So look at your sales process and really try to streamline as much as possible. So what we did at Botco.ai is we figured out that we can sell our product in 3 meetings or less. And so we have kind of 3 templates for different kinds of meetings. We have an intro call where we're just trying to assess the need of the customer. And we can do this in 20 minutes or less, right? So we have already our questions lined up of things that we need to know about that customer so that we can figure out if we're a fit for each other. And so we have the initial intro call. And then if we decide, yep, there is a need here, and yep, it sounds like it could be a fit, then we move to the demo call. And again, we're using Calendly and Zoom integration to do all of this, right? So we're not, you know, emailing back and forth 35 times to find an appointment. We schedule the demo call, and that is where we present our solution. And we do the selling really at that point, right? Because the first call is really more of an assessment, it's a discovery, it's just to make sure that this is really a good opportunity for both of us. So once we do the demo call and the customer is still interested, then we have been able to figure out how to move everything into just one closing call where we review all of the terms of pricing. And of course, we've, you know, shared that with them in advance. And we can finalize the deal in that 3rd conversation. Now, keep in mind that one of the reasons why a sales process can be streamlined to this degree is because customers have really shifted in terms of how they research and how they, you know, the kind of homework that they do before they even talk to a salesperson. So most of your customers have already been shopping around, have already been looking, have already been watching webinars, or have already been, you know, educating themselves. So you don't have to waste a lot of time of their time or your own time rehashing stuff that they've already figured out. What you really want to do is focus in the conversation. Is this something that makes sense for both of us? And let's close it. Right? And they will appreciate that you're not turning this into a long, drawn out process because they don't have time either, right? They're busy trying to move on with their lives and to accelerate their business as well. So be kind to both sides and keep the sales process as streamlined as possible. All right. The other thing that I have recently started doing, and this is kind of a new thing, is automating my meeting notes and assignments. So I do not have the luxury of being able to pay an admin or somebody to follow me around all day and take notes in my meetings and send out assignments. You know, that was back in my corporate life where that was possible, but those days are long gone, right? I'm running a very lean and mean startup. So I had to find a virtual assistant that could be this meeting note taker and assignment task person. And what I found was a product that's actually fairly new. I'm going to share with you. It's called Fireflies.ai. And of course, I'm an AI company, so I love all things AI. But this product, if you run it on your Zoom calls, you can connect it up to all of your Zoom meetings. It'll transcribe all your meetings and send out meeting notes to everybody that was there. And that way, everybody knows what the assignments were that took place. Everybody has the same record of the meeting, and nothing is left to chance or, you know, in my case, you know, I have these like physical notebooks because I love to take notes, but what happens if my notebook disappears, right? Or one of my kids spills all over it. You know, we can't leave my business to chance with a hard copy notebook. So with a product like this, all of your meeting notes can be recorded and you can always go back to them. That's what's nice about that is all your meeting notes are also searchable. So if you're trying to remember like, hey, we had this meeting a month ago, we talked about this really interesting thing, but I can't remember, right? A product like this will keep all of those records in line for your business. So highly, highly recommend using something like this. There might be some other products I know that are out there. This is just one that I will mention to you. And again, they have a free version. You can try it out without even spending a dime. So again, very accessible for us small business owners who are trying to run a streamlined and budget conscious operation. Okay, so the next thing, number 7, checking out. So if you're like me, you're doing a B2B sales process, but maybe your customers are consumers, I'm not exactly sure. Look at how customers are closing business with you. How many steps are you requiring to get a contract signed, to get an agreement in place, to check out, you know, whether that's entering your credit card information or your shipping information. Like, look at that entire journey and say, okay, how could we make this easier on our customer? And how can we make this foolproof? You know, that's what I always think about, because I am the ultimate test case for this kind of thing. I am super busy. I'm running in 100 directions, and there's been many times when I have really wanted to buy a product or a service, and then guess what? They send me a contract to sign. Okay, I hate that, and let me tell you why. Because I don't have a printer that always has ink at home. My kids are always printing stuff. I'm always out of ink. So what am I going to do? I have to run to the store, buy ink printer cartridge, install my printer, make sure I have paper, print it out, sign it, scan it, and send it back. That's a horrible experience. Do not ever send me a contract to sign, you know, hard copy. Instead, what I'm going to suggest to you is use a product like HelloSign, DocuSign. There's a bunch of these cloud-based signing products out there that you can upload your contracts to, your agreements, your order forms, whatever, you know, documents that you use to get your customers signed. Fill in all the fields, their address, their name, the pricing you agreed to, the date, you know, all of the terms that you guys have agreed to. And the only field that you should make your customers sign is the signature line. That's it. And on most of these applications, you can sign them on your phone with just the tap of one finger. That is what I mean by one-click sign up. All they're gonna have to do is open the message from HelloSign or DocuSign, make sure, you know, look at the contract, see that it's exactly what you guys had already agreed to, tap, and boom, your contract is signed, you now have a customer. If you are doing e-commerce, there's a lot of great e-commerce products that are kind of along those lines as well. So I know products like Shopify and other e-commerce products have very similar kinds of checkout processes, but just make it super easy for your customer to sign up for your service. Don't make them hard, and please never ever send them something that they have to print and scan. It's 2020, we have much better solutions, and you will get your contract signed much more quickly. I noticed that when I moved to this approach, I would get my contracts back within 24 hours. That was like a long time. Usually I would get them back within like 4 hours, right? So I might send it at noon. Maybe my customer was in meetings. They would open it up by 4 or 5 p.m., tap to accept, boom, we were in business. So really, really consider how you can make this as easy as possible for your customer. All right. So the other thing I have really loved doing is video messages. I'm kind of like the crazy lady that sends a lot of video messages to everybody. So, you can take it as far as you want to do it, but I have found that for onboarding and customer success, and this applies to both my employees and my customers, I have started to use video messages quite a bit. And LinkedIn, and I don't know if you knew this, but LinkedIn, you can send video messages. So everybody that you're connected to on LinkedIn, you probably have sent them like a little text message, but it turns out you can also send them voice messages, and you can send them video messages. If you've done your hair and put on your makeup, do the video message and not just do a voice message. But I love doing this, and it has become my new favorite way to stay in touch with customers, give them a quick hello so they can see my face, hear my voice, know that I'm thinking of them. It literally takes me 5 minutes. And so it's as simple as, you open up LinkedIn, you find, the customer or the employee or whoever it is that you're wanting to send a message to. I just, literally hold the phone up to my face. I say, hello, good morning. Hey, I was thinking about you today. I was thinking that maybe, we could help you with this aspect of your product, or I was noticing that you had a question the other day about XYZ, and I thought about a really good answer for you. Let me know what you think. Or, hey, today I want to show you about one of the features in our product that you could learn about, blah, 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 blah. You share it really quick. Keep them short, keep them to 2 minutes or less. Don't make them really long and rambly. But this is a great way to just like pepper your customers with constant exposure to you in a way that's very helpful. They can watch these video messages when it's convenient to their schedule, and you're going to be able to reduce the number of meetings that you have to have, which then allows you to open up your schedule for meetings that you're talking to new customers or prospective customers, right? Because a lot of this is really about managing your time, managing your schedule, trying to get more out of every minute of the day so that you can accelerate your business. Now, there's another great product. I mentioned LinkedIn just because all of us already use that and it's free. But there's another great product. Oh, actually, I think with LinkedIn, you might have to pay a couple $100 a year or something like that to use some of these advanced services, but it's not a lot. It's definitely worth your while. There's another product called Loom that you can also do this on, and they will send the videos on your behalf over email. So similar idea. The nice thing about Loom is you can also do screen sharing, and you can send, so say you were trying to train your customer on an aspect of your product, or you wanted to show them something new that you came out with, you can use a product like Loom as well. So I've been getting a lot of Loom messages from some of the people who are selling to me, and I really like it because I can view it asynchronously. I don't have to, schedule a time with them, which, we're also strapped with time, but I can still have that interaction back and forth, and I can even send a video message back. So this is my new favorite hack for staying in touch with the customers, employees, other people that are important to my business. Use video messaging as much as you can. And like I said, it's free. Zoom even, all of us are using Zoom right now, and you can even do this on Zoom. Like if you don't want to use a new product, LinkedIn or Loom, with Zoom, you can actually record your session and then just send a link to the recording of whatever little message or screen share or update that you wanted to share with your customer. So that's another option too. So, try to use the products you're already paying for. If you are wanting to use something new, here's another option for you. All right. Number 9, don't send out paper invoices, please. It kind of goes with the paper contracts. Don't make, right now nobody's getting their mail at their offices, so don't send out anything physical. And even a PDF invoice is going to get lost in the shuffle. Use digital billing products as much as possible to invoice, right? Make it really easy for your customer to pay you. Again, they should be able to ACH you. Don't make them send a hard copy check or pay you with a credit card. Try to make your entire payment process as simple as possible. So what I always think about is, what is the fastest way that I'm going to pay somebody, and then turn that around and create that process for my customers, right? So if you're using paper invoices and requiring hard checks, that's just too challenging, right? You're creating a lot of friction. And this is where the rubber hits the road, right? Like if you did all this work and you got this customer and then you fell apart at the billing and invoicing process, you're never going to collect money, and you're going to be delaying how long it takes for you to actually collect that revenue, which is the lifeblood of your business. So let's make, getting money, collecting from our customers as easy and streamlined as possible. Because that's what's going to keep the lights on, right? So I love a couple of different services, and I'm going to give you a shout out to Rachel, who's on the line and who's the CEO of RexPay. I love RexPay. They're doing an amazing job in the healthcare space in terms of simplifying client billing. They're putting power back in the hands of consumers, so you can just with one tap of your phone pay all of your medical bills, which I love, love, love. So shout out to RexPay. If you're in the healthcare industry, please use their product. If you're in another industry, there's a lot of other products out there that you could look at. In the enterprise software world, there's products like ChargeBee or Stripe that you can integrate right into your website. And even call your bank. I mean, most of the banks will integrate Zelle or some other form of electronic payment, ACH, all of those things, right? But think about what is the fastest time to money. So how can you make the invoicing easy and automated? And how can you make paying you easy and automated? And if you can really crack the code on those two things, you will see that your ability to collect cash and your statement of cash flows is going to be much healthier, and your business is going to be way, way healthier. So absolutely, let's not fall apart on the billing and invoicing process and making that clunky and challenging for our customers. All right. And last of all, you've done all of this hard work to create a streamlined customer acquisition process, a streamlined sales process, a streamlined billing and payment process. But what about all the people in your organization that are working to make this happen? So even if you just have a small team of 5 people, or maybe a bigger team of 20 people, right now more than ever, we have to make sure that we're recognizing our people, right? Because they're working really hard, they're under a lot of stress. If you're anything like me, you're at home with 3 kids that are noisy and annoying half the time, and it's hard to stay focused on work and deal with your kids at the same time. There's so much happening. So make sure you're taking the time to recognize the hard work of your team and to celebrate all of their accomplishments, and especially celebrate them if they helped you implement any of the hacks that we talked about today. I personally love this product called Recognize. It's a virtual recognition product where you can send out like cute little buttons, virtual buttons to your employees when they do something cool. And it also shows up like on a social media feed where everybody can share these recognitions with each other. So you want to encourage a couple of things, not just recognitions coming from you as the owner of the business or as the manager, but you also want to encourage recognition amongst the team. And the reason why this is super important is because this is the #1 reason why people either stay or leave in a job. If they feel like they did a lot of work and they were not recognized, they're going to go somewhere else. But if they feel like they worked really hard and you noticed and their colleagues noticed, they are going to stay longer and they're going to work harder for you. So as leaders, let's not forget to keep in touch with our team, to recognize them. 15 years ago, I founded an agency called Ideas Clyde, and we have been using at Ideas Clyde Recognize for many years now. And I just have to tell you, it's so rewarding to see how the team recognizes each other all day long. And again, this is an entirely virtual solution. We didn't have to actually print anything or do anything physical. It's all handled digitally, which is perfect for today's time. And then not only that, but as your employees earn a lot of recognitions over time, they can also earn cash rewards that they can turn those recognitions into gift cards. And right now that's especially important because everybody's feeling a little bit strapped. Many households are struggling to make ends meet because maybe their spouses are not working. Income is a little bit tight in many places. And so being able to offer your customers that opportunity to earn a Home Depot gift card or to earn a Starbucks gift card or Amazon gift card, they always really love that. So make sure you're using this. And again, there's a case study on the Recognize website of how Ideas Collide is using this application. Also, another small business here in the Valley, you don't have to be a billion-dollar company to use these tools like I mentioned. So with that, I think I've probably given you my 10 favorite hacks of the day. And I would love to open it up for, oh wait, one last thing. I want to make sure you know that you can get in touch with me on LinkedIn. My email is Rebecca@Botco.ai. And I would like to open it up for questions. I think there were probably some in the chat. I just can't see them while I'm also presenting. All right, so I will pause here for a moment.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. Attendees out there, what questions do you have for her? Please post those in the Q&A or in the chat. Either one will work.
I'll use this break to get some water. It's a dry heat out here.
I want to say those are some great hacks. I was looking at the calendar. I posted the link for them in the chat for everybody because they do have a free option. Have you used the free option, and how well does that work?
Yeah, the free option is very useful. The only difference with the free option is that it only gives you a chance to schedule one kind of an appointment. So you have to kind of pick your poison on that one. So I choose the 30-minute appointment. But if you're on the free plan, if you're on the $9 a month plan, you can have all the appointment times you want. You can have hour slots, 30-minute slots, 15-minute slots, 2-hour slots. So people can choose the slot based on whatever the purpose of the appointment might be. And then you can also integrate it with Zoom, which is the bigger thing, in my opinion, because that saves you from the step of having to then send out a Zoom meeting. Because what you're really trying to do here is eliminate any opportunity for error, for loss of agreement, or for people to get confused, like where's the meeting? Are you calling me? Are we on Zoom? Right? It just automatically generates that. And you eliminate a lot of that, chance where things could go wrong. Okay, so there's a question from Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. What do you do to keep your team connected when working remotely? That's a really great question. Super important because there are, we don't have that social, physical interaction that maybe we did in the past. We are big at Botco.ai. We're big users of Slack. And so that's where we have conversation channels for every single topic that is related to work. And then we also have some fun channels that are just related to talking to each other about life in general. So Every week we try to pose a question to the team about something different, like, hey, what's your favorite recipe? Or tell us something interesting you did this weekend. Or, you know, another fun one we said is, you know, post something about yourself that you don't think anybody would know about you. Of course, you know, only share stuff that you're comfortable with, but we do that every single week so that we create those opportunities for the team to get to know each other. Since we're not, you know, we don't have the water cooler, so to speak, or the coffee machine anymore to hang out and just kind of catch up with people in terms of their family. So that's something super important. Make sure you're creating those opportunities for your team to interact. I have not done this yet, but I know a lot of teams are doing like video game nights. You know, my teenagers have kept up with their friends almost entirely through video games. You know, they love playing, I don't know what they're called, like Fortnite and Minecraft and World of Warcraft. I don't know. I lose track of all the names. But they're using video games to stay in touch with their friends, and they feel like that's just as much of a social experience as hanging out at their houses. And so a lot of companies have started to do like a video game night just as a fun way for everybody to log in through their Xbox or whatever video game program you use, and then they can have that social time as well, which we all know is really important. People are more likely to stay in their job if they have a friend at work. And so you want to create opportunities for your coworkers, for your team members to become friends. All right, David, good question. Another question here. Is there a contract option? And does your system work well integrated with computers? And what internet speeds are required to implement your bot? Okay, so let me see if I understand. There's a couple of different questions here. Is there a contract option? Okay, so I would say yes. So with Botco.ai, we do have the ability to integrate with multiple systems. So we have customers that might want our product to integrate with their Salesforce.com or their marketing automation platform like HubSpot or Eloqua or Marketo. So I'm not sure if you meant integrated with computers with that, but like we would integrate easily with other software platforms that you might be using. In terms of internet speeds that are required, most your standard, whatever you're paying at home is sufficient. You know, nowadays we're in a really good, we're kind of in a good place where internet speeds have picked up enough where all of these services are accessible even on the most basic of internet plans. You know, they even work okay on like an LTE connection or just a regular data service on your phone. They work fine. The only places where I see that there might be a little bit of a lag if you're in a more rural area and you don't have access to any type of broadband, even a basic broadband connection, that might be a little bit more challenging. I haven't tested it as much in like in that type of environment. You might have some delays, like 4G and 3G doesn't work as great. So that's the only time I would see any kind of lag. Okay, yeah, so if your computer's on LTE, you'll be fine. Yeah, totally fine. LTE, actually, in fact, sometimes I will turn off my Wi-Fi and just use LTE because it's faster. So, you know, I've noticed that that's a thing. The carriers have gotten so good that oftentimes their service exceeds broadband. the hard line or whatever you call it, in the ground, the wires that are in the ground, whatever you want to call those. So yeah, that should be totally fine.
Rachel, you mentioned recognition as one of the final hack. With all of us having Zoom meetings or web, you know, all kinds of different types of meetings, one or after another, and some people may not be included in those meetings because they're doing different types of work. What are you doing to help provide that recognition in the remote virtual workspace right now?
Yeah, so in terms of the ways that we're, you know, I mentioned Recognize is a great product. I've noticed that, you know, you can even do simple things just on Slack or Teams or whatever kind of virtual product you might be using to communicate with your team members. Just take a moment, as a leader, it's really important that we take those moments every week or maybe even every day to think about, hey, who went above and beyond today? Who really kind of stepped up? Who helped me solve a challenging problem today? Or who's just been like a steady person that, you know, maybe they're a little bit more quiet. They're not like a self-aggrandizing person, but they're they're steadily always there for you. Take a moment to recognize those people and to make sure that they know how much you appreciate them. And, you know, everything from writing personal notes to your employees works great. Send them an email, handwrite a note, use products like Recognize if you want the whole team to see it, or just give a shout out at the beginning of your meetings. You know, set aside maybe in your staff meeting 5-10 minutes where you can do some kind of verbal recognition. And that is something that I have found works really well in keeping your team motivated, especially because right now things are a little bit or much harder than usual, right? So we want to be understanding that people are kind of working under a much more stressed situation than maybe in the past. And especially with school coming up, I know I'm really kind of concerned about that. School is starting in a couple of weeks, even though it'll be online school. And, you know, I still have a little PTSD from the spring semester issues. Hopefully the schools have figured out a few things and they won't be so reliant on me to be the educator. That's not a good plan. So, you know, just be cognizant that any families that are in your staff, you know, people with children, you know, they're going to need a little bit of time just kind of getting situated once school starts again.
As a busy CEO of a growing company, what are you doing to fight off Zoom fatigue?
Oh yeah, Zoom fatigue is very real. I have it all the time. I'll tell you a few things that have helped. Sitting close to a window has helped me a lot. So I've moved my desk and my office closer to natural light. I was working in a little bit of a darker space just because it was quieter and I could look at the screen better. But I noticed that without a lot of natural light during the day, it was increasing that fatigue for me. So I moved closer to natural light. And then I also, I do this weird thing. It's probably really silly, but between meetings, if I can just get like 2 minutes, I will do jumping jacks between my calls. I literally do jumping jacks. And that just kind of gets the blood flowing again in my body and my brain, and it kind of just like gives me this really quick boost of energy that I need. And then drink lots of water. I mean, this is super important. I know these are all like basic things. I also had to stop using headphones. I was using headphones all day long, and I would end up with this. Zoom does something weird with the audio because it drops a lot of bits just to make the streaming easier. But I was noticing that my my ears had like a zooming, like Zoom, where they were buzzing at night after having my headphones in all day long. And so now I try to alternate where I do one meeting with headphones, one meeting without, or I try to go half the morning without headphones. But I did notice that the headphones were creating, maybe I just needed better headphones, I don't know, but I think it was actually the quality of audio that Zoom transmits. So it had nothing to do with my headphones, because I tried a few different ones. I don't think that, what really changed it was just not using headphones as much. So those were my strategies. There might be articles out there that give you some more, but absolutely a real thing. Share it with your team, because if they are suffering from Zoom fatigue, that's going to affect their mood. It's going to affect their ability to interact with customers nicely, right? You don't want somebody that's all Zoom fatigued talking to your customers and getting cranky, and you know, that's not a good thing. So make sure your team has an opportunity to also know these tips as well.
Excellent, thank you. So as we're getting close to time, I just want to see if you have any closing tips or tidbits or recommendations for the group before we wrap up.
Yeah, you know, I would say for me, the biggest hack through this whole thing has really been like a mind hack, right? It's about how do you see everything that's going on right now, and how do you choose to look at these challenges? You know, and I've watched kind of different people around me deal with it in different ways. And I think the biggest thing is if you're looking at it as a huge stressor or a huge challenge or something that's going to like kill your business, unfortunately, that's what's going to happen, right? We create in our mind the reality that we want for our world. But if you look at it as kind of like a forcing function to really make us think smarter, change our business, find new customers, and if you honestly believe to yourself that, hey, my customers are out there, I just have to remove all the roadblocks that bring us together, right? And that's what removing friction is all about. I just need to like clear some of these roadblocks that have prevented me from finding my customers, my ideal customers, and from them from finding me. if you really look at it that way, all of a sudden this doesn't look like such a terrible time. It can be a really wonderful opportunity. So I would say, think about your own thoughts. You know, how are you viewing this whole pandemic? And then also, how can you help your team and your organization? You know, because as the leader, you're the one who sets the tone. How can you help them also see, you know, the bright side of all of this, which I know can be tough. I know that sounds maybe overly optimistic, but it's, in my opinion, the only choice we have right now. Otherwise, why get off the couch? That's my parting thought.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. A great presentation. We appreciate all the hacks and the tips and the tricks and the feedback. Valuable information. Attendees, thank you for being on today. We appreciate you. Just a reminder, tomorrow we have a great PPP session planned with updates in the PPP program. So please come with your questions. 9 a.m. tomorrow, if you haven't registered, get on our website and register. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And again, Rebecca, thank you for your time today.
Absolutely, it's good to be here. Good luck, everyone out there. Send me a message or question if you need anything. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.